Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lattes on My Mind.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Felina. What are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to be talking about Giulia Tofana, an expert poison master.
Ooh, so grab those lattes and join us for the journey. Hannah,
What's up?
how the heck have you been?
I've been so good, I think. I don't know.
I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure. I'm glad that the busy season, I think, is over. Almost. I mean, I know we're,
I was supposed to say, speak for yourself.
when we record this, which is going to be releasing in the new year, it's almost Christmas. So I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
But
It's almost Christmas.
I mean, for like work.
It's like, I keep looking at the calendar.
Yeah.
It was in October, so I erased it.
We're real good about keeping up with that.
Christmas is in 10 days, basically, so.
That's true. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. I'm so excited.
But we're recording ahead, so that way we have a little bit of a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I sound funny.
It's just the weather.
But it's just the weather has been really crummy.
Yeah, it's like rainy right now, and like we went from like what, like the 20s to like 50 degree outside.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the
It's like,
fluctuation.
oh, it's snowing to, wow, it feels like spring.
Yeah, a rainy spring almost. Yeah, it does
so
today.
My sinuses aren't happy with me, but
It's okay.
it is what it is.
You also like had a little like a sighting on your Ring camera.
I did have a sighting on my Ring camera. Aliens.
Aliens, guys, we have proven.
We have proof of aliens. No, so we have Ring cameras on the front and the back of our house. And one of the cameras on the front, there was a random light that like hovered down
Yeah.
and then stayed there for a good second and then like left.
And it
were
was like
"What?"
noticeable.
Yeah, it was like, and then I sent it to my brother too, and he was like, "It's just a car." I said, "In the sky?"
It wasn't a car.
It was not. No car has ever done that before.
No,
like
it wasn't
it's
a car.
not like a reflection of a car because it also stayed.
Yeah.
like it sat
almost
there.
looked like the sun reflecting, like moved up and then went down. It was a really weird, but it wasn't the sun. Like it
No,
looked like
it was like
a little sun was coming up or something. You know what I mean?
dead of
Like,
night. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it was night. Yeah.
It was weird. Marshall was like, "It's probably just a drone, but we're
Right.
going with aliens." And I
Right.
was like, "Well, yeah, because that's more
Well, because
fun."
have you seen all those drones over New Jersey right now too?
Why are they flying drones around?
I don't know. Yeah. For what? For what
For
purpose?
what purpose?
Next thing you know, the birds will be drones.
Birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real.
You know about that? Birds aren't real.
Yeah. I mean, I know about it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
birds aren't real.
All of them though. That's like crazy.
All of them. All of
'Cause, like,
them aren't real.
Think about those like flocks of birds that you see that are just like absolutely wild. Like
Surveillance.
like 200 surveillances all at once
Yeah.
in a cloud.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're looking for someone.
For sure.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
They're
That's what
looking
it is when that
for
happens.
the Fellowship of the Ring. They're looking for Frodo, Sam. Do you remember that?
What?
When the Crebain like birds fly, when Saruman, maybe that's the extended version. Did you watch the extended version?
Yeah, we own. Yeah.
Yeah,
We own the
they-
extended version.
They
so-
like hide because like the birds, Saruman sends birds, and they like are looking for them, and they like hide under the bushes and things,
What?
and they're called Crebain or something. The birds.
What?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
No.
Oh,
See, but it's been about 7 years since I watched The Lord of the Rings.
you're due for a
So-
marathon.
It's just so long.
Come on, you can do it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched it, so
Yeah,
it's probably why I don't recall.
probably not.
I remember the. Ooh. Yes, Darcy, that is my dog. She borked. I remember the orcs.
She borked the orcs.
Yeah, being birthed.
Yeah, I hate that part.
That was so disgusting.
It's like they come out in that like sack.
I said, Mom, we couldn't watch Power Rangers, but we could watch that.
We can watch Lord of the Rings and give birth to them.
Makes sense. Makes total sense.
Yeah, that part freaks me out. Even like when I still watch it, I'm like, ugh.
It's gross.
And they're like getting like the mud and all that off of them, but it doesn't
Yeah.
look like mud. It's like,
Ooh.
You know what else will make you go,
Being poisoned.
poison? I'm excited about this topic, Felina. I was so excited to tell you about Giulia Tofana. It's her name.
Giulia Tofana.
But spelled with a G, so very fancy.
So Giulia Tofana.
Giulia, it's like Giulia. Giulia.
So Giulia Tofana.
Giulia Tofana. It's an Italian name. And they said it
Interesting.
Giulia. So I was like, and that's what I was like, is this
Interesting.
Giulia? Is it like a version of Giulia?
Yeah.
But she's an Italian woman, obviously, who lived in the 17th century, so 1600s. Okay?
It's the 1600s of it all.
Right. Now, obviously, as I always pick out the people that have like a, like they don't know what happened totally in their early years, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, obviously, like then if you're not following them, if they're not famous yet or anything, like why would you know about their,
Right.
you know, early years?
You don't.
You don't. But there is much debate over her early years. And people think she was born in like 1620-ish.
Okay.
In Palermo, Sicily, which is like, you know, like Italy comes down like this, and then there's like that little island at the tip of Italy. Maybe not.
Sicily. Yeah.
Yeah, Sicily.
Yeah.
So she thought she was born there on that little island. Well,
Okay.
it's not a little, it's pretty big. But she is thought to be one of the most efficient and successful female killers or serial killers. Now,
What?
but didn't necessarily do it herself. So bear with me.
Oh, she had an accomplice.
Yes. So, well, she was a poisoner, as we will talk about, that helped with the demise of 600 men.
Holy crap.
Right. Between the years 1633 to 1651. Okay. Yeah. Over 20 years.
I was about to say, so like 20
Yeah.
20 years.
Her career spanned 20 years. Okay. Now,
600 men in 20 years is quite a bit.
right. Because I was watching a video that was like one of the most modern serial killers that we know about. I don't remember his name. He's a doctor.
A doctor.
Of some sort.
Okay.
He like killed like 200 something people, I think. So it was like, this is like almost 3 times that amount or 2 times that, you know, whatever it was, like the estimated amount.
That's 30 people a year.
Wow. 30 people a year.
She had to kill 30
Now-
people in a year.
Yeah. And some might say she wasn't actually a serial killer because we'll talk about like what she actually did. But let me get a little bit more background for you really fast.
Okay.
Her
Okay.
mother was named Tofana D'Amato.
Okay. Say that 5 times fast.
Stefania D'Amato, which I think is fun. So that's obviously where she gets her like Tofana name at the end of her, like Giulia Tofana. It was kind of confusing because they don't have like the same last names really. I guess it's like
Was she born out of wedlock?
maybe because apparently her mother, she was in an abusive marriage.
Okay.
So her father was abusive. And so Tofania was put to death in July 1633 after allegations of murdering her husband
oh,
with poison.
like mother, like daughter.
Yes, Giulia.
I see.
Yeah, and Giulia was about 13 when this happened.
Okay. So
So-
she was aware.
Right.
Yeah.
So her mom, Tofania, killed because of her, you know, killing her husband. So Giulia's parents dead, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, it's obviously thought that, you know, Giulia learned from her mom about the poison, like how to make it and like possibly used her recipe, which we'll talk about later.
Was she an only child?
As far as I know, yes.
Oh, interesting.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. Yeah. As far as I know.
I feel like in the 1600s they were like popping
Yeah.
babies out, you know?
Well, maybe because the husband
Maybe
was
because
abusive.
she was abusive. Yeah,
Yeah.
She was like, nope.
She was like, nope, no more. Now, after this, when her parents died, like we said, we still don't know a lot about what's going on with her, but it's thought that she started to hang out around like the apothecaries and gained a lot of knowledge about cosmetics at the time. Now,
Cosmetics.
yes, cosmetics. Don't worry, we'll get into it.
Interesting.
Cosmetics.
Speaking of, okay, sorry, this
No,
made
you're
me
fine.
think of something. Like, you know how like people used to wear like green dresses and stuff in like the 70s, 60s, 70s?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, like
do you mean?
green was a popular color.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
they stopped wearing it because they dyed it. How they got it that vibrant color was they used arsenic. So women started like
Getting
like poisoned basically
Yes.
through their clothing.
Yes, we're gonna talk about that.
It was interesting.
Kind of. Well, not like with clothing, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I was like, what?
I think in Mummy Nibbles we talked about like how remember when that poison got like mixed with the sugar? I don't know if it was arsenic or not. I don't remember if you remember that.
No, I don't remember. I remember them like it was the equivalent to eating tar.
Right. Yeah. Well, with the mummies, they were putting all things in their bodies that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, they shouldn't. Just don't eat dead people.
Right. Just a quick little background about poisoning. Well, I mean, not really about poisoning, but it wasn't uncommon. Like in the Renaissance,
Yeah.
like that was kind of the way I think that it was a means to an end for people because like politically, I mean, if you think about it, it's like a unmessy way to kill people or get rid of people.
There's a reason that like royalty and people
Right.
in power were having testers
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
eat their food.
Well, because like, how else do you get to them? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you can't just like walk up and like stab them.
Anyone can work
Usually.
in the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, you can be sneaky and like put it in something. But there was this family called the Borgias, and they were like lived in about the 1400s.
Okay.
And this guy who was like the father of the family or whatever,
Okay.
he rose to power because he became the Pope in the 1400s.
Oh, cute.
Yes. So
Wait, but it was a family?
yeah, like he had a daughter
Like
and
he
like
was
a son.
married and
Yeah.
he became the Pope?
Yeah.
Doesn't the Pope have to be celibate?
Maybe now. I don't know. But like he like
Interesting.
rose to power as the Pope. So I don't know if he already had his family.
Probably.
It could because his daughter was like older at the time when he so
Became the
maybe
Pope.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe like because his children were grown. I don't know. I don't really know how that goes in the 1400s. I think the Pope can't get married.
I think the Pope has to be like celibate.
Oh, I thought that was just like I don't know. I thought that was just like if you actually chose to be like a monk or like went away and like became celibate. I didn't know it was like
No, because think of like all the past couple popes.
yeah.
They're celibate.
Okay. Well, at this time he wasn't.
Yeah, this in
he
this
had
day
children.
and age.
He had children. But they're apparently like associated with poison, like a mass poisoning. This family.
The family is.
So they were involved with a lot of poisoning scandals, and a lot of people blamed the daughter Lucrezia Borgia because they think that like she was like very paranoid and she was like worried her second husband was like
Yeah.
gonna be poisoned, and so she would like cook his own meals and stuff because she was worried about it so much. And it was like rumored that she had this ring that she like had poison in that she like poisoned people with, but like
Ooh.
there's like not really any proof.
Franchi.
I know.
There doesn't have to be proof. I
Right.
believe it.
Right. Now, most people think that her father and her brother were actually the ones that did the murders, but everyone like associates her with like arsenic because they think she was the one who did it. They like blamed her for it. I don't know why. So I was like, so your father and brother are killing people, but then it gets like pinned on her.
And this is the Pope.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, her father's the Pope. Yeah.
Interesting. Also, sorry, I just looked it up and it says yes, popes are required to be celibate. Yeah.
Huh. Not at this. Well, in the 1400s.
The church has upheld the rule of celibacy for over 900 years.
Well, that doesn't reach into
But
the 1400s.
the first and second.
He was
in
renamed
this-
Alexander the Sixth. Does it say anything about him?
No. In the 12th century, decreed clerical marriages were invalid. So in the 12th century is whenever they said.
Well, I wonder why he was. Why he had
Maybe
children.
his wife died.
Maybe, and then like
And so he could become.
Well, he took over. So I'm like, I don't know if this was like, I'm gonna do what I want sort of thing.
It was a
I don't know how he
sticky
took
situation.
Over. It was
I
probably,
don't know.
I don't know, but he had children, and he became pope. So
Maybe maybe his wife died and he, declared
Probably.
celibacy after
it
that.
didn't
And
mention
it was
anything
like, okay, cool.
about his wife. So
Yeah.
yeah, because you can like, because you have to be celibate when you're the pope. Or do you have to be celibate going into it?
Well, I would assume that
Those popes
you
are
have to be
old.
celibate going into it.
Okay. I don't know. We'll have to, if any of you guys know.
Because the Pope is chosen from, like, when one
Yeah.
Pope dies, it's chosen from, like, the other people in, what is it, the Vatican?
Yeah.
So the other, like, priests
you know
and
that you're
stuff
gonna like want to be
in the Vatican. So
Yeah.
they've probably been practicing celibacy for however many years in hopes that maybe they might be chosen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like they might like have like this rule that like you can be forgiven if you were in like re-cleansed, almost like you are celibate. I don't know, because I feel like nowadays.
Well, it's not saying, and I could become celibate.
Yeah.
It's not saying like you have to be a virgin.
Oh, okay. Well, that's true.
That's
Yeah.
not like
Well, then, yeah.
celibacy means like you're not
Yeah, you're not. Okay.
partaking anymore.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, so no one ever. Okay, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
more sense. I don't know why I was. I was thinking of celibacy, and then I was thinking of it was your
virginity.
virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so this family, like, it was in this video I watched. It was like this mass poisoning, like of this sort, like with the nobility and stuff. Probably like encouraged other people to take part in it. It's like,
Right.
inspired them.
Yeah.
So, because it was like a mass poisoning, like lots of people, right? Not just like one.
Was it
person.
all at once, or was it like
No, I
just
don't think
over
so.
a couple
it was
months?
like over. It was over time, but they called it a mass poisoning because there was like many people.
Yeah.
So it was thought maybe they had influence on the public, and that it became popular because this was like 1400s, and then we're going back to Giulia, which is like 1600s.
In the 1600s, yeah.
Rome during this time, because she was born in Sicily, but she moved to Rome, was obviously engulfed in religion, Catholic religion mostly, all male leadership, okay,
Okay.
division of classes,
Yes.
all that sort of thing.
Naturally.
As we know,
Yeah.
women, little power,
Yeah.
like no
nothing.
power.
They ain't got. They're just breeders, basically.
Exactly. Men pretty much could do whatever they wanted to their wives with little consequence, no consequence, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the women of the 17th century had very few trajectories. Trajectories? That's a hard word to say. For their lives. Okay. They could be a wife,
A mother.
a mother. Well, mother, yes.
Yeah. Or
A sex worker.
yes.
A sex worker, or they could become a widow. Because if you're like, if you remain single, you don't have income.
Right.
Women can't get jobs except for sex work.
Yeah.
So great. Women had it great in the 16th centuries.
They really did.
16th centuries?
Wow.
1700s. 1600s.
1600s, 17th century.
That one. So, the Catholic religion didn't allow for divorce,
No.
as we know.
No. Yeah.
There was no wiggle room. Okay. It was not a viable option. Okay.
Yeah.
And husbands had full authority and say over their wives, even when it came to physical abuse. And many women ended up in abusive marriages because it wasn't
Yes.
really their choice.
Yeah.
They were kind of sold off or, given away by their fathers.
And they would agree to it because they were like, well, if I don't, then who else do I have?
Who else is going to take care of me?
Yeah.
Like, they have to listen to their fathers. And
Yeah.
then once they get married, they have to listen to their husbands. Okay? Now, it was not an uncommon thing for women to use poison
No.
to get rid of their husbands.
It's very common.
It's very common. So even at this time, the poisons were called inheritance powders because wives would use them to inherit their murdered husband's money.
Oh.
Okay, so they were called
That's
inheritance
nice.
powders. Enter Giulia.
That's smart.
It is. That's smart.
I mean, it's bad. Murder's wrong. Don't do it. But
However-
that's smart.
Yes. No. Like I said, I was like going to say going into this. Murder's obviously wrong. Bad. Wrong. However, there was a reason.
There's a reason.
There was a reason why Giulia was doing this. So she was widowed at one point, and she had a daughter.
Okay. She
Now-
totally killed her husband.
Right. It's a possibility she killed her husband, but we also have no proof that anyone actually died at her hands. But I'm like, she had to have killed her husband. Right?
There's no way she didn't.
There's no way she didn't. Her mother wasn't an abusive
Unless it was
marriage.
like on record that there was like an accident where he was working on something and fell and whatever.
Right.
Like
We don't know, but like I would assume that I assume that she didn't have a good marriage. I mean, most of them didn't.
Yeah.
Or it could have just been that he died. It could have been. But it's like, now he probably did die of poison. So she probably did kill someone at her own hands. But after this, we don't have like any proof that she was actually did it herself. So she takes her daughter, moves to Rome. Okay. And she adopts the life of a poisoner.
Okay. So she's
And-
like a woman for hire, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Oh.
and it's thought that she could have used her mother's recipe, but we'll talk about like the actual poison after we talk about like her business. But what she did is she put together a series of apothecary businesses that offered like anti-aging products to women.
Okay.
So the whole thing was fronted as a cosmetic business.
Cute.
So they sold makeup, all that sorts.
She's been in something.
Maybe she was that we like watched.
Like, I've watched something about a like cosmetic store in the olden days. It's like a cosmetic store, but it's like poison. It's actually like poison. So women are going to a cosmetic store and then they're poisoning people.
Okay.
So I've watched something like that. So
with her
regardless,
influence or
she
something.
influenced it. Like,
yeah, no, definitely. Because I think like there were like plays and I don't know if they ever made a movie about it. They should if they haven't.
it's like been like a
almost seems like
side note in
yeah.
like a series I watched.
It seems like it would be like in a Shakespeare thing or something.
Probably.
But then again, he lived before,
But I
I
didn't
think.
watch Shakespeare, so
Yeah.
no, like it's like I was watching it on TV. Like it was a
Oh.
TV.
Like a show.
It was like I was probably streaming a show and it just had a snippet of something like that in it.
Yeah. That's interesting. We should find it. So Rome also had what was called a criminal magical underworld
Oh,
in the 1600s.
sounds fantastical.
Sounds fun. You want to be a part of it? But
Not if I'm going to get poisoned.
well, no, because you would be the one doing the poisoning, so you'd be safe.
Nice.
But
nice.
it was essentially a network of underground practitioners of, black magic, of astrologers, witches, alchemists, apothecaries, and people doing things that doctors at the time would not or could not do, such as perform abortions.
Oh.
So it was like an underground society that you were like, forbidden arts kind of like thing.
It's like the dark web
Yeah,
of Rome.
yes, exactly.
It's the dark web of the 1600s.
Right. Now, in the magical underworld, whatever, or not underworld. Well, yeah, it was called magical underworld. The poisoners were almost always women. And their clients were usually always women.
Because they're trying to off their abusive husbands.
Yeah.
They're trying to get them beat up.
Now, obviously, she passed it off as a cosmetic business, and she really only gave the poison to people who she was either acquainted with or who had been who her past clients knew.
Yeah, like referred to her.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Because, she's trying to keep it
Under wraps.
And I think that they actually had it was obviously they had to have sold other cosmetics and things too because it was
a cosmetic store.
Right.
Yeah, it's the front of it all.
And apparently, I think they might have also done fortune telling there or something.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, which
It's a little random, but
it's random. But in the video, it was they were probably doing fortune telling things too because those kind of clients that come to you are more open to the occult things, or not occult things, but kind of getting into that dark web sort of stuff. They're more open to being oh, what you got there, poison, if they're coming to fortune telling, I don't know, that's what it said. It's they're more interested in that kind of thing.
Okay, gotcha.
So
it was to weed out.
Yeah, kind of
this person's comfortable with this. Let me try and sell it.
You're comfortable with this summoning up the no, I don't think they're summoning up the dead or anything like that.
Well, fortune telling is
it's not that. It's not that dark. Now, so as we said before, she had a 20-year career and she sold in Rome, Sicily, and Naples. So she had a network of people. So she was selling all the way in Sicily. So she probably had I don't know what she was sending things there or whatever. Cause
it's probably she probably had other what are they called? Apothecaries?
Apothecary. Yeah, she
she
did.
probably had other apothecaries throughout. And then she had trusted people
Yeah.
with the recipe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Cause they would I guess travel there or whatever. You have to trust them. But she believed she was just aiding women and getting out of abusive marriages.
I mean, it's not entirely wrong.
And she was just selling it. She wasn't.
So she didn't actually go and poison people.
She didn't-
She just sold them the poison.
Yeah, she wasn't. That's what I'm saying. She wasn't going and poisoning people. So technically, is she a serial killer? But she was providing the
She
means.
knew that they were going to use it though.
It was made specifically for this.
Yeah.
So she was providing for them to get out of the marriages. So it's specifically to kill the men.
Yeah.
So yeah, she is a serial killer. And I don't know, but I think at least she had a cause, I guess.
Well, but if you think about it, she's not entirely to blame, because if women weren't looking for it, she would have had no need to provide it.
Right. It's also like, in this sense, like for the women, technically self-defense. If they're being abused.
Well, but it's premeditated.
Yeah, and I guess that's true. And so it's not self-defense.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying I feel bad for the women, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But she also had we think her daughter working for her.
Okay.
Obviously. We think her name was Girolama Spara. Interesting name. Girolama? Girolama?
So the llama.
Girolama? Maybe it's Girolama. I don't know.
I don't know. All I hear is llama now, though.
Llama, her daughter, helped her mother with her business, and she also possibly had like a disguise of being like an astrologer / an herbalist, which I mean goes with the poisoning. And like we said before, Giulia also had like witches, apothecaries, and some clergy helping her distribute her poison.
What is a clergy?
A like pastor type priest man.
Okay.
Like people of the church.
Yeah. I was like, I know this, but I can't think of what it is.
Right. Like I'm like, it's a weird word. I'm not sure if it's like a pastor or if it's just like people who work in the church. You know what I mean? They think it's this guy called Father Girolamo. Lamo, very close to the woman's name.
Is that her actual father?
Maybe. But no, because she was born before they even came to Rome. Mm-hmm. But apparently, Father Girolamo had a brother who was an apothecary. I guess that's the right word. Is an apothecary?
Yeah, sure.
It's like the same as the shop is called that, as well as the person.
We'll go with it.
But apparently, it's thought that this guy was the one providing Giulia with the arsenic that she used in her poison.
Not the arsenic.
So they possibly had a priest in on this, okay?
Wow.
Which
so
is
they
crazy.
were blessing their poison.
Yeah. He was like, okay, this is good work. The Lord's work.
He's like, I'll allow you to poison people, but I have to bless them first.
Right. Now, like, one source said she was selling to noble women, but it was also to, like, the poorer people, because it talks about it later, like, about, like...
It probably started with the noble women.
Probably, because they're the ones who usually want to get rid of their husbands, and then the poor ones are like...
they have more to gain.
To inherit
if they're
the money.
poor, they're poor, you know?
Right. Like, I'm not really going to get anything from killing him, but...
At least it'll be free.
Right. Now, not only, this is one part where she, you know, she's cunning. She, not only sold them the poison, but she also was like, listen, here's the plan of action. Like, after you kill your husband, you need to cry, you need to act sad.
So obviously, she coached them on what to do.
She coached them, and then she was like, ask for a coroner exam of the body, because that will, like, make you look not guilty. Essentially, like, if you're being like, I want his body examined, then they're gonna be like, oh, she had nothing to do with it, essentially.
Yeah, she's asking to find out what happened to
him.
Him.
Right. Now,
and especially at that time, they wouldn't have been able to trace anything.
Right. Like, what are they gonna find? Especially with her poison. Okay. Her poison was called Aqua Tofana. Aqua Tofana. So after her. But it was an amalgamation of arsenic, lead, and nightshade or belladonna. And
you're going too fast. Okay, wait, what? It's
a combination of arsenic, lead, which is great for you.
That's so good. Good, tasty.
And then the third ingredient is called nightshade / belladonna.
Okay, so nightshade. I was like, what is that?
It's like, apparently it's a plant that is part of the potato family.
Yeah, it's like nightshade.
Yeah, and it has poisonous berries, and like belladonna is a type of nightshade. So it's the same thing pretty much, but it's like a type of that. Now, like we talked about, at this time, cosmetics in general, like some had poison in them, like belladonna, arsenic, like these were like common ingredients in cosmetics. So it was essentially like when the women would go get this, like it like looked like it would be like just another makeup or something like on their vanity. Like they would put it with their other collection.
Naturally.
So
I wonder how many people like accidentally took that instead of using their cosmetics.
Like started putting it on them or something. Yeah, really. But apparently like arsenic was like such a common thing. You could just like go into apothecaries and get yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and it was a good poison to use because
it doesn't show up.
It causes like vomiting and diarrhea, just like a regular sickness would.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, they just died of some sudden illness.
Yeah.
But what she did was she branded it with a picture of Saint Nicholas on it, and written on the bottle was Manna of Saint Nicholas of Bari, which was like oil at the time that was used on blemishes. So it was like, oh, this is just, everyone gets this. Like the poor got it, the women got it. Like it was commonly used. So she disguised it as that. Now, apparently the funny thing was that Saint Nicholas was apparently seen as like the saint that looked after like unmarried women. Like that was like his thing. So I think that's kind of ironic that she put it on the bottle. She also sold it as a powder and as a clear liquid. Yeah. I guess so. If you know, I don't know why you would want to.
Depending on what you use.
Yeah. Well, because like most of the time they're like putting it in like the food. So I guess it just depends what kind of food. I feel like the liquid would just do best.
Yeah. Liquid would probably be the best form.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they had the powder.
Well, the powder could like be sprinkled onto the food.
Yeah, that's true.
So like if you're trying to put it on his food, he's not going to be as, like, you can just mix it in with his food. Whereas like the liquid, if you just mix that in, it's going to be runny.
Yeah. But like if you're using a drink or something, you could just.
And I'm sure it also like.
Or you could go
like how fast it works.
Right.
Depends on which medium it was, you know. So
that's true.
Like, okay.
Now the poison had no color, odor, or taste.
Right.
Okay. And all it took was like 4 to 6 drops to do the job. However,
holy cow.
The poison was considered impressive because it killed the men in stages, like over a matter of days. Mm-hmm. So what they would do is like they would take the first few drops, okay, and they would put it whatever in his food. Yeah. Or drink or whatever. And the first dose would cause like weakness, nausea, and I think like kind of like cold symptoms. Like nothing, you know.
Like, okay. Oh, I'm just feeling worn
coming down
out,
with something, you know?
Yeah.
Now the second one, you start being like, I'm having some stomach issues. You'd be vomiting, diarrhea. Mm-hmm. And then the third and fourth application of poison would cause burning in the stomach and dehydration. And usually the third or fourth dose
got the job done. Yeah.
Got him. So this way, like we talked about, like with this slowness, it just looked like he died of a sickness.
Yeah, it looked like. Now, could you give it to him all at once and then it would kill him?
I don't know. I don't think they usually didn't do that because it was like very obvious. Yeah. I'm assuming if you gave him enough, it would kill him. Like immediately.
In one sitting.
But like just giving him a little bit makes him sick and then, you know.
And then it makes it look natural.
I would assume that if you put 6 drops in it, it's going to kill him. Right. I don't know. I'm not a poison expert.
Never tried to poison anybody on purpose.
I myself, I think I have toxophobia because I have like a fear of being poisoned. So, but it was also said that I think the reason why they also didn't like kill him right away is that if he was starting to get sick, he would kind of like get his will like all checked out. Like he would make sure that she was left.
She was in it. She was
she would be okay after he died. She'd be taken care of. Mm-hmm. So that was the thing, is like it gave them time to like either repent of their sins
suddenly,
right, repent of their sins, get their will in order. You wanted him to leave you the money.
Yes, so that was the goal.
Yes, and Aqua Tofana, as we talked about, couldn't be found in the body, like during an autopsy, and obviously we don't have her exact recipe. We have like, because it was never written down. Like you don't do that, right? Don't do that. But even though they think that like those were the 3 main ingredients, like they think it had stuff in it that we like don't know about. Yeah. Obviously, because she's got to have the tricks up her sleeve or whatever. Now, how it all ended. Dun 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 dun. Apparently,
does she get hung for this? She does. She does.
Felina's like, oh no. Well,
she's not the one who did the poisoning. She just told them about it, you know?
Right. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. Okay, so there are debates over her death, since you already have guessed that she's going to die. But one story goes that the reason why she got caught was because a woman who had bought the poison, had put it in her husband's soup. And then before he ate it, she like chickened out. And then she told him, or she was like, don't eat it, don't eat it, don't eat it. And so then he was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So then he proceeded to hurt her, his wife, until she told him what was going on.
Yeah.
Obviously. And then he also apparently gave her over to the authorities, who continued to torture her until she like gave the name of the woman and what it was that like she put in his soup. So,
and that's why we just commit.
Right. She ratted her out, man.
That's why we just commit to it.
Yeah.
Or like just give him the first dose.
Yeah. And also
like just give him the first dose, and then it's like, oh, he feels a little wonky,
yeah,
and then
don't go
and then don't do it again if you're chickening out.
It's like, yeah, because as she told him, like, don't, do it a little at this time and
do
next
it
time
slowly over time.
And I'm like, okay, like, why would at the time, like, if you're being abused, what stopped her? Like, was her husband actually not that bad, and then she just changed her mind because she just wanted money?
Here's my thing. Here's what I was thinking was, it's not necessarily that her husband wasn't that bad, because obviously he was, because he started to like torture her,
right?
After
like,
he found out. I think it was probably like a guilty conscience of like, oh my gosh, if I kill him, I'm going to hell or something like that. Like true. Probably something like,
or I'm going to jail, or or I'm gonna get killed myself or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, come on, lady. But it's thought because I guess Tofana had a lot of people like who were obviously like helping her and supporting her. So she, I think, found out that they were like coming for her. So she went to a church nearby. Mm-hmm. And I think at that time, like churches usually had to offer people sanctuary, like to be safe from the authorities if they like went to the church. Cause like, if I don't, have you seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame where they do that? Where they're like,
no, I've actually never seen that movie.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But they're like, sanctuary, give me sanctuary. And like church lets them in. And then supposedly you can't like let the authorities in to like take that person.
Yeah.
As long as they're in the church.
But if they step out of the church, then
they're fair game.
Fault. Yeah.
Yeah. But a story was started that Tofana had poisoned the water source or like the water supply of, I guess, the town.
Whatever.
I'm like, she wasn't like trying to kill everyone.
She wasn't malicious like that. It was like she was trying to help women who were being abused.
Yeah.
Like,
right. Like it wasn't just like, I'm going to kill everyone. It was like, obviously like her business was secret.
Yeah.
Like people had to come to her and buy it.
Yeah. People had to seek her out.
It wasn't like she was just like, I'm going to go poison everyone.
Yeah.
So because she was accused of poisoning the well or whatever it was, I don't know. They went in and took her, even though they weren't supposed to.
What? So it sounds to me like
the church failed at their job.
Not even the church failed at their job. The police, the like officers, like were in the wrong.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done that.
No, they shouldn't have. I mean, I understand that you'd be, oh, we need to check to see if the water's poisoned. But if she's in the church, how is she going to do
she's
any
not
more
be
damage?
Able to poison the water source.
Yeah.
And also, again, it's not like she was trying to kill everyone. Like her...
Yeah.
She was giving it to women to poison their husbands.
It was also her livelihood, so she sold it.
Yeah. So why would she just waste it all?
Right. And that would be a lot. Like, how much would you have to put like in the water supply
in order to like
kill
people?
Yeah, I don't know.
Quite a bit,
I would assume. But under torture, when they took her, she admitted, I did this and I helped to bring about the death of 600 men. Mm-hmm. I estimate. I guess she was like, it's about 600 men. It could have been more, apparently.
Holy cow.
But she probably doesn't know. I mean, I don't know if they keep receipts at that time of like how many people she sold to, and like she also had businesses everywhere.
Well, also, you don't even know like if they followed through with it,
right?
Like it's like, or they could have just gotten it and then
do they come back to you and be like, hey, I did it, like I successfully, like I don't know. Yeah. So supposedly in this version of the story, along with her daughter and like 3 of her associates, she was executed in Rome.
Oh no.
I know. In July 1659. And that's like 8 years after she was caught, I thought, because like it said like she ran her business through 1651. And I'm like, why'd they wait so long to kill her.
How long? Well, we also don't know how long she was like in the church hiding.
That's true. Yeah. I don't think it was that long. I don't think she would be in there for years. But apparently they also possibly killed 40 other women who had been involved, who had poisoned their husbands.
Gotcha.
Felina is just like so bored, guys.
No, I'm not bored. I'm tired.
I know. Me too. I did not want to get up this morning. But apparently they killed 40 other women of poorer status of her clients because
you can't accuse a noble woman.
Right. The prominent and rich women maybe went to prison and then maybe got away with it because they were like, we didn't know that our makeup and cosmetics had poison in them. We didn't know. Like, you didn't know, but you like gave it to your husband.
Okay, but I feel like it would be the opposite. I feel like the noble woman would know and the poor woman wouldn't.
Right.
You know, like I feel like it would be the opposite, but
they don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're
noble.
They don't have money.
Yeah.
So what can they do?
Yep.
So now there have obviously been debate over her death. Some people think she lived until 1651 and just died of natural causes, like she died in her sleep. But that seems a little weird to me. Like, what?
Because she was executed.
They don't. They think. They don't know. Some people think that she died of natural causes.
Do they think that she took her poison?
Her poison,
so
her
that
own
she
poison?
wouldn't be executed?
Maybe. That's a good theory.
Thank you.
She could have.
I think it's a good theory.
Apparently, like, women are more prone to, like, take poison.
Yeah.
To, like,
women
do the job.
Women are more prone to use poison.
Yeah, in general. Because it's like I said, it's not, like, a
there's no
gross,
confrontation.
invasive way to, like, kill someone. Well, yes, they think she was executed, but like some people are like, I don't know, like she could have died of natural causes and she was never found out because like we don't really know because her like business was so secret and stuff.
Yeah.
And then some people even think that she lived until like 1709 and was doing her business then. And then that's when she got executed. Like she was still doing it until that time,
like
which would be
underground.
a really long time.
Yeah.
And
if I feel like if she was doing it even after that whole ordeal, it was like she was hands off. Like she was just like overseeing.
Like her business just carried on.
Yeah.
And they even think that like one story goes that she ran away to a convent and continued her business and like the nuns helped her like give out the poison and stuff. Well, I mean like, yeah, the nuns being like, yeah, sure, you're rescuing women.
Yeah.
I'd
believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, but most people agree
that she was executed or
not
died in some way.
That somehow her business like ended in the 1650s, like her main one, like her running it and stuff. They think that now because there are no portraits of her. There are no like legal documents that like talk about her like birth or anything like that, and her recipe was never actually written down. So they don't have like any like I don't know. I guess they just have like the word of people who eventually wrote it down, but they don't have like any original.
They have like it totally could have continued on because she had other people
working for her
in different locations.
Yes. So like after her death,
they knew it.
Yeah, the apothecaries continued to make Aqua Tofana. It was just it wasn't her business or whatever. It was. Yeah. They knew it, so they carried it on, and apparently like her poison was still like very popular name even in 1791, which is like 100 years later.
Yeah.
With Mozart. We all know Mozart, right? When he was dying, he suddenly got sick and he thought that he was dying from someone poisoning him with Aqua Tofana. Like that's what he said, Aqua Tofana. He said, I feel definitely that I will not last much longer. I am sure that I have been poisoned. Someone has given me Aqua Tofana and calculated the precise time of my death.
Oh.
They don't think Mozart actually died of poisoning.
Right. Well, but
they think it was something else.
Traceable.
Right. Like, how do you know?
Very well could have been.
I don't know. And like one article I read, it was like possibly his wife. But another thing that was proposed was like there was this other composer named Antonio Salieri, who apparently wasn't as popular as Mozart, and so he is accused of possibly being the suspect in his death. But yeah, so like we said, like after she died, like apothecaries still carried it, and like it was even apparently it made itself a name enough that
Mozart, that 100 years later, someone would name it.
Would think that he was dying of that. Now, apparently, scientists have tried to recreate, like scientists and like, I don't know, like I guess chemists and things will have tried over the years to recreate, I guess to see like if this type of poison would actually work like they said it would. I mean, obviously they're not testing it on people, but they like have done like the combination to see like, is this actually effective like they said? Does it actually do it? And they haven't been able to recreate it. So,
which means there
was something else.
Yeah, there's got to be something else to it.
Yeah. Because her recipe was never written down. So, like, yes, we think that it had belladonna, arsenic, and lead, but like, she was obviously very like smart. Like, there was something that like,
yeah, something else she put in there.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Twist, she's a witch,
right? Well, she did have like witches in her network.
Yeah,
that was like one of like in the underground magical world there were witches and things.
Yeah, because they're the dark web.
All right. So I don't know. I think that. I don't know why scientists would try to recreate it. I guess it's just to see, like, historically, like, is this, like, exaggerated? Because some people thought, like, was it really a sneaky or, like, take them out in days like it said? Like, was it really so untraceable? But, like, at the time, of course it was untraceable because they're probably not have the knowledge to look in their bloodstream or whatever that sort of looks.
Technology either,
right?
To, like, test for things.
To do that, yeah. So,
I feel like they would be 100% trying to recreate it to use it.
Oh, to you, like warfare?
Yeah.
Like, so it looks like someone has died of sickness?
100%. They would try and recreate it to do that. Which is so dangerous.
Right. Well, because, like, you know how you see in movies when someone poisons someone and then they're like, and, like, die immediately?
Yeah.
Like, that's not what you want if you're trying to, like, inherit someone's money.
First of all, you want time to be able to get away.
Right.
Like, before they die.
Right. And, like, you don't want to be suspect. Like, obviously. Oh, I also forgot I had a picture of the bottle for you.
Oh, cute.
With the saint on it.
Oh, is that what are these?
The children in like the tub? I don't know.
Interesting.
Is he like looking over, like protecting them?
Maybe.
So that's what it looked like.
Mena di San Nicola Bari.
Debari. Yeah, so that's the bottle.
I don't speak Italian.
So, yeah. We put things in our makeup still today that are like...
We put things in everything today that are
like, what is it that's like a nail polish? What is it? There's like, I think they started to take it out, but there was like, what is it called? Dang it, I forgot.
Idea.
There's something in nail polish that I was like, I don't want that on me. And so like, I was like, I need to look for like more natural. I think that they've probably taken out a lot of it. Like, what is...
I don't know. I mean... Nail polish is paint. It's like so it'd be like certain dyes, and isn't there acetone in nail polish?
Acetone, probably.
Yeah.
What did they put in nail polish?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But they put stuff in everything. I mean, like even just like red. I saw the thing. It was like red dye is literally from dehydrated beetles that they crush up.
Right. Ugh.
And it's like in your lipsticks. It's in your food. It's in your like all your cosmetics basically that include red is what it's in, and any kind of like red dye or whatever. I'm like, ugh.
And we're just put and like
we just
probably in like some like lipstick.
That's what I was saying. Like any cosmetics with like any sort of like red in them have it in it because that's how they make the red. And I think that's disgusting.
It is disgusting. It's like, but like think about it. Like that's how they get. Like I don't know why beetles in that sense, but like they'll use like natural like berries, plants, and things like that, which makes sense like for dyes and things.
Right. But no, it's because when they crush them up, they like turn into like a red powder.
Right.
And it's vile. It's absolutely vile.
I can't find anything on it, but I thought there was like something in it that was like bad.
I don't know.
What was it? Anyway, so yeah.
So don't poison people.
Obviously,
if you're being abused nowadays, there are other avenues that you can take.
Yes,
other helplines.
But I do understand why she did what she did. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I understand her mindset.
Yeah, women are being beaten up.
Yeah,
Well, and I mean, you know, she was 13 when her mom did it to her dad. So,
Yeah.
like, she witnessed it.
Yeah.
And she probably experienced it herself.
Right.
So, like...
I mean, she was probably experiencing abuse from her father as well, if he was abusive. Like,
yeah. Like, she probably experienced it as well. And, yeah, just don't go around killing people, though.
Don't do that.
Then you're going to die, and...
it's not right.
And that's not cool.
And that's not cool. Anyway, if you have any more topics that you would like to hear about, you can always email us
at lattespodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach us on Facebook and Instagram at Lattes on My Mind, or you can comment on any of our platforms, any of the streaming platforms we're on, such as Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Amazon, Audible,
and YouTube. Did we say that?
Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, Audible. Yeah, that's it. That's all of them.
That's all of them.
That's all of them.
And
that they're on. And don't, like and
follow
subscribe.
us. Yeah. And maybe don't go into a shop looking for arsenic.
Yeah, I think arsenic is traceable now, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think it's traceable now. So
I think lead in your blood and belladonna in your blood would be traceable now.
Well, lead, 100%.
Right.
But I do think that they can, like, trace arsenic. So maybe don't try this recipe.
Don't poison anyone.
Yeah. Also, don't even try to make it. Yeah. Like, don't try to make this recipe to be like, oh, well, scientists couldn't figure it out. Because you never know. Maybe you found it out and you didn't even mean to. And then you're dead.
You don't need to be messing with that.
Yeah.
Not good.
Don't fool with poisons.
Yeah. Don't put it on your skin either.
Nowhere. Because if you put it on your skin, it'll be like in the 70s with the green dye.
Right.
And that's not fun.
No.
That's no bueno, no good.
No bueno, no good.